Today we're joined here in studio by Anti-Austerity Alliance TD Paul Murphy, who's taken part in quite a number of these protests. Deputy Murphy, you're welcome to the programme. What's the purpose of these demonstrations?
These are protests of often hundreds of people in local communities, be it in my constituency of Dublin South West or on the north side of Dublin or anywhere around the country, against the imposition of water meters against the wishes of people. And these are areas where almost nobody wants water meters, and so peaceful people have been peacefully protesting in order to prevent the installation of something against their wishes.
So it isn't about protesting as in getting your message over, it's actually about stopping the installation of these water meters. You're clear about that?
Yeah, it's about effective protest, and that's the problem, what we've seen over the last 2 weeks with arrests, dawn raids in Tallaght for participation in peaceful protest. What we've seen today...
it's about blocking the installation of water meters, stopping people who are engaged in a lawful activity, going about that activity.
Like I said, it's about effective protest. And what's clear is that the state is saying people have a right to protest as long as it doesn't make any difference.
We saw
Whereas here
many thousands of people in the streets of Dublin and other cities across the country before Christmas protesting, stating their case, if you like, and by their numbers, I think it's fair to say, having an effect on government policy. But this is quite different, what you and others are engaged in, isn't it? Attempting to stop something taking place.
Well, let's be clear why these people were jailed, right? Because you can use the euphemism of jailed for breaching an injunction. They were jailed solely because they participated in protests within 20 metres of water meter installation taking place. That's what they were jailed for. That's what they're in contempt of court for.
Yeah, but you're not arguing that they've been continued to try to block the installation of water meters.
I don't know about the individuals involved.
But that's the purpose of the protests.
That's the purpose of many of the protests that I've participated in. And people have a right. If they don't, this is an injunction given to a private company, GMC Sierra, owned by Denis O'Brien, enforced by the Gardaí. And what's clear is that people's right to protest is now being put across.
But it's a company that has a contract to execute a particular process, the installation of these water meters. It's a law you mightn't like, but it's a law that's been passed by the democratically elected Parliament of this country, and it's unlawful, according to the judge, to try to prevent that taking place.
Well, no. Again, it's not the law that you're not allowed to protest within 20 metres of a water meter. That is an injunction given to a private company by the judge. Right. I think that's a mistake. That injunction should never have been given.
Yeah, and I think people are right. It was given because protesters were blocking the water installation staff going about their job back in December.
But I think if people don't want a water meter, they have a right not to have one. And I don't think the courts should be used to criminalise and then jail people with families for 2 months or 1 month for participating in protests against these things, simply for being within 20 metres of a water meter installation zone.
But the judge referred to some of the abuse that these water meter installation staff have faced. Their vans have been surrounded. They haven't been allowed leave or exit, we know, in some estates around the city because of this campaign to try and stop people doing something which is perfectly legal to do.
Well, because I was in the court today, and in his judgment, the judge referred to a number of the allegations put forward, like ideas that assault against Irish water meter contractors, which we've heard repeated again and again and again, and none of those were taken into account by the judge. The judge discounted all of those because there was not a single shred of video evidence of any of that. The only video evidence was of people being within 20 metres. Is that what we've come to? That people aren't allowed to protest on their own estates because they're within 20 metres?
Two of the people before the court weren't jailed because he said the evidence wasn't there to find them in contempt.
To find them within 20 metres. Yeah. But that's all we're talking about here.
Can't you stage a protest within, a little beyond 20 metres from somebody? It's not a great distance.
Not if you want to effectively stop water metering, and that's it. Do people have the right to protest effectively? This is now what this is about, as well as about the water charity. It's about people's basic civil liberties. We've seen 2 weeks of dawn raids, now 5 people jailed, and so there's a major protest being organised this Saturday, 2 o'clock at the Central Bank.
You, as a legislator, have no problem about breaking the law. You've made it perfectly clear. I think you've said you believe you're elected to break the law.
I mean, what that quote referred to, which was recorded surreptitiously by an Irish water security person, was later used by the Gardaí and leaked to Denis O'Brien-owned Irish Independent.
You don't deny it.
What that referred to was the fact that I was elected on a call for a boycott of the water charges, which clearly is against the law. It's not a crime, but it's against the law to call that. We need a movement to defeat austerity in this country. If that means massive civil disobedience, that's necessary.
There, we'll leave it. Thanks for talking to us.